Hi guys. Well, I sincerely hope you're using all the tools in your tool bag to stay sane, stay calm in the next few days in the face of the tsunami of the wanker in chief. He's been going off this week, and some of you will know because I write in the comments frequently to people, stay away from watching the news. There's something about the talking heads that's really disturbing. I've taken to just reading the news, and I find it easier to absorb, So if that helps, please use it. But I did break that rule, and I watched a couple of Morning Joe videos today. I'm sure you all know Joe Scarborough, who famously has changed from being a Republican, lifelong Republican, because of Donald Trump. And both he and his partner Mika socialised with Trump quite extensively over the last few years. They always thought he was a bit of a muggins, but they didn't see him as this authoritarian nightmare. They underestimated him, but they were fully aware of how stupid he was. So they are fully frightened, and they've been a consistent set of voices against Trump because they know him. But anyway, on this segment, one of the commentators was saying Trump's behaving differently now than he did just before the 2016 election. So he railed around the country under other circumstances, making a fool of himself, but managing to get the base in behind him. But in the last 10 days, last-minute advisors were able to rein him in. I don't remember this, you guys probably don't either, But apparently he stuck to his talking points and his scripts for the last 10 days into the actual election to give last-minute fluctuating voters a chance to say, oh, look, he might be a bit this and a bit that, but he can be a presidential sort of candidate at the end. He doesn't listen to anybody now, including the advisors he appoints. He doesn't listen to. Won't listen to anybody. And that means he is only in his own echo chamber with his rallies. He loves the rallies, he gets the adulation, and around it goes. So he's playing purely to the base that is already secure for him. He is not attracting other voters. At least I hope this is an accurate read on the situation. So it's not to say all these races won't be close, because they obviously are. But he's not pulling in new people. People are wrestling with the idea, how can I still vote Republican when he's in charge, as opposed to, oh, I want to vote Republican because he's amazing. So, anyway, that got me thinking, is he his own worst enemy now he's stopped having any advice? So let's have a look at that, shall we? So, here we go. What's happening in Trump's head? Is he likely to be his own worst enemy with this? Worst enemy. I'm using the Japaridze deck here. Let me get it. So everyone always contacts me after I use this deck. Japaridze Tarot. Okay. So, first up, Two of Wands. Oh, interesting. Well, as the general short layout, and then I'm going to do another question or two. Interesting. Okay, he gets the Two of Swords. This is a crossroads. We know this. It is a referendum on Trump, and it is a referendum on the Republican Party. So the Two of Wands, which in the conventional tarot is the Two of Swords. So it's two paths. He is also very much a flip-flopper. So what he says one day is irrelevant the next, or he builds on it, or whatever. But you're getting this duality going on here. So people are feeling a bit, Republicans I'm talking here, are feeling a bit uneasy about this. On the one hand, they want to vote as they've always voted, but on the other, he is not popular, despite the polls, I believe, in individual Republican households. Okay, now back to Trump himself for the next 3 cards. Look, underneath the 9 of Fire, this is the gladiatorial card. He's in combat mode, right? But he is 72 and in poor health. But he loves the battle. The battle is what gives him oxygen. He's not good with the fine print. He's not good with actual governing. He just wants the next fight, right? So that's him battling it out. The cards that bookend that, you have here justice and you have here judgment. So this mini reading is calling down judgment on Donald Trump. We all know with these particular elections, excuse me, we can safely assume there's going to be a way bigger turnout than usual. Momentum is there, there's no doubt. But because of your crazy electoral system and the undemocratic nature of how it works, you know, it's still a high-risk playing field. The New York Times did an article on Australian elections. Don't misunderstand me, viewers. Our current Australian government is wicked, evil, heartless, callous. I can't think of enough adjectives to describe how awful they are. We still have children in detention on an isolated island. So do not think, oh yeah, everything's good in Oz, you know. No. But we do actually do the electoral process itself well, and the reason is, apart from anything else, we have a system of states like you do and a federal government, and elections are overseen by a federal electoral commission. So in other words, the states don't have this immense wriggle room that your states do. They have to conform to basic things of how an election is conducted. You can't have even a redneck state like I come from, you can't have them saying, well, we'll do this and we'll do that. There have been gerrymanders in the past, don't get me wrong, no system's perfect. There have been gerrymanders at borders. But as for who can vote and how you vote, it's very standard. Where are these delirious differences? And anyway, I digress, viewers, I digress. My question today is Trump his own worst enemy? So that was laying the groundwork, that was painting the undercoat. So my next question is Trump making a mistake by failing to unify the country? Like, will he actually feel the pain of that in voting terms? We know people are upset and offended, but will he pay the price for this lack of unity? Will he pay the price for refusing to unify the country? So, will he pay the price? Boy. I think, you know what I think? This has made it crystal clear to the American people who they're dealing with this last 2 weeks. And look, we talk about the pipe bombs, we also talk about the massacre at the synagogue, but we mustn't forget the shooting in Kentucky, where a white man went in and shot 2 African Americans because he could, because he wanted to, and because his president had basically told him it's okay. So we mustn't forget Louisville. Okay. So he gets the Fool card. Okay, this could be seen as a foolish decision. Don't forget, when you're learning tarot, the Fool is one of the more complex cards, and at its base end, at the simplistic end, there is foolishness, which is what we've got here with Trump, because he won't listen. And at the other end, you have a great sophistication. But it's foolish not to take advice, because the ego that drove him and his confusion of being a B-grade celebrity on The Apprentice, with conflating that with being the president, he's actually, I believe, genuinely entered a state of delusion. All right, the world is watching, as we know. The world can't quite believe what it's seeing, but it is seeing it, because Trump is not the cause. He is symptomatic of what happens when you weaken actual rules on hate speech, when you weaken institutions, judicial institutions, when you attack media and you weaken independent media, you get the rise of the alt-right everywhere. So he's a symptom. Right? But the world is paying close attention. The Queen of Wands in this deck, she looks a bit like the character, the nun, with that movie that's coming out, doesn't she, really? It's holding the flame. She is the Queen of Fire, right? But it's a dark queen. The dark queen is not happy. This is not a happy queen, right? With what has happened and what he's got away with in this last 2 weeks. Not happy. But I take this as a note of great optimism. The Star card, I don't take it as Trump the star. I simply think he's done too much for that to be an accurate read. It just wouldn't make sense in terms of the other cards and what we know. So I think this is the American people coming down in relation to it. I think he has made a mistake, a foolish mistake. Now, it's pointless to ask, will he learn from it? Because he doesn't learn. He prides himself in his ignorance. Right? He prides himself in the fact he's never read a book. He prides himself on having no input other than Fox. So that's pointless. So I think my final question should be, what? Let me think while I shuffle the cards. Okay. All right. Is this the point at which he starts to seriously lose followers? Is this the point, meaning this election, when he starts to seriously lose the confidence of people as a president? Not so much his rusted on base. They've got another 2 years of the opioid crisis to go. They've got another 2 years of unemployment to go. There you can only learn the hard way. What I'm talking about here is people who haven't been happy with him, including many in the Republicans, in the Republican Party. So will he start to lose Republicans is the question. Okay, I'm going to start again. Will he start to lose Republicans, conventional Republicans? Boy. Well, you know what? You wouldn't want these cards. He gets the Eight of Tides. It's like he's like the Grim Reaper. He's his own Grim Reaper. It's like he's sowing the seeds of his own demise. Interesting. Again, he gets the Judgment card, so he's not getting away with it. You can't keep getting the Judgment card and assume the subject of the reading is getting away with shit. No, he is being judged. The Six of Wands. Okay, these strange pterodactyl-like wings on this character. In the Rider-Waite, this is rowing away from a troubled place, moving away. So he's got this Grim Reaper figure moving away, Judgment. And again, it's like this outcome card, the Ten of Tides. So again, I see this as the people speaking, the Ten of Tides. I want to clarify here for this. So just to clarify, I'm doing it on the Six of Wands, which is the going away card. I want to clarify whether the Republican Party is going to start pushing him away after this. The GOP. Are they going to, as a party now, as opposed to voters, the GOP going to move away from Trump? Please clarify this for me. Yeah, he's a fool, and they think he's a fool, and a dangerous fool. This is not a winning combination. Someone who's foolish and ghoulish. That's Trump. Foolish and ghoulish. Okay, guys. I'll see you soon. I'll try and get back to you again before Tuesday to answer the big question. I think he is his own worst enemy now. Interesting. Bye.